The big breaking news we've had all morning long. 2 police officers who were keeping an eye on demonstrations up in Ferguson, Missouri, have been shot. Don Champion is in New York with the very latest on the case.
The shooting happened outside the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department as protesters gathered outside the building.
I saw at least one cop that was on the ground.
Bradley Rayford was in the crowd and says at first he and others thought the gunshots were fireworks.
Bullets were really right past my head. It was kind of traumatic. I'm still kind of in shock because of it.
2 police officers were hit. Both were rushed to a nearby hospital. Officers from neighboring departments helped in the search for the gunman.
A St. Louis County officer was struck in the shoulder, and a Webster Groves police officer was struck in the face. These police officers were standing there, and they were shot. Just because they were police officers.
The shooting happened hours after Chief Thomas Jackson resigned from the Ferguson Police Department in the wake of a scathing report from the Justice Department. It found a pattern of racial bias on the overwhelmingly white police force.
It is very hard for him to leave and for us to have him leave. He felt that this was the best way forward.
Protesters had been calling for Jackson's resignation since unarmed teen Michael Brown was shot and killed by a white Ferguson police officer last summer. The city manager and a municipal judge have also resigned, and a city clerk was fired. Don Champion, CBS News.
We're told both officers right now are in serious condition. That's the newest information on this case. We'll continue to update this throughout the morning. All right, closer to home now, a silver alert has been canceled for an elderly man with dementia. Warren Engberg has been found safe at his Franklin home this morning. Officers confirmed that a woman spotted him in her backyard near Tarrington Lane. That's about a half a mile from Mr. Engberg's home. The woman told police she saw him fall down. When Engberg told her that he was lost, she called 911. So he is okay this morning. That silver alert has been canceled. Good news there. A months-long drug investigation is finally over. A woman behind bars accused of selling drugs. You won't believe who she was selling the drugs allegedly to. Cuthbert Langley in the studio with us this morning. And Cuthbert, this arrest was a long time coming, it sounds like.
Yeah, Steve, it was. It started back in November. And if you can imagine this, the woman is accused of selling drugs to underage clients, including high school students. Let's take a look at her mugshot this morning. This is 50-year-old Margaret Longo. Cheatham County Sheriff's officials tell me, as I said, they've been working on getting this woman arrested now for 4 months. According to deputies, they noticed that drugs were being mailed to her home. Get this, nearly 2 pounds of pot were mailed to the 50-year-old's house. Once officials searched her home earlier this week, they say they found drugs, scales, and other drug paraphernalia as well. It's unclear at this point exactly how many drug charges Longo is facing or if any of her underage clients are in trouble because of this. The 50-year-old is still sitting in jail this morning. And I'm also told this arrest is just the beginning. Cheatham County officials tell me other arrests are expected. So we'll closely follow those developments both on air and online at newschannel5.com. Steve?
All right. More drug-related issues. Also, Cuthbert, a heroin drug bust may be connected to a big drug ring out of Mexico. A tip led detectives to Chastity Casiano. She's an Ohio woman, but she was coming to Nashville allegedly to make a heroin delivery. Police say she intended to sell nearly 2 pounds of the drug. A different case. Fernando Gonzalez Williams also facing drug charges. Police found heroin on him during a routine traffic stop. And also today, a Hendersonville father, a foster father, charged with raping a girl placed in his care, will be in court. Randy Rowe was arrested back in December on several charges relating to the rape of a minor. He pleaded not guilty to those crimes. If convicted, he could be looking at a maximum 148-year prison sentence. He's being held in the Sumner County Jail on a $100,000 bond. It's a crime that's almost unimaginable. Beating up an elderly woman and stealing her jewelry. Police say it happened at the Sterling House Assisted Living Home in Clarksville. Clarksville police say they've got 2 caretakers from Sterling House along with one of their boyfriends as the suspects, accused of assaulting an elderly victim and stealing her diamond ring. That 90-year-old woman suffered broken bones in her face, cuts and bruises. Brittany Lee and Martavius Brooks have been taken into custody. There's a third suspect, Jackie Stevens, but Jackie's not been arrested just yet. They're still looking for her. I-24 in Cheatham County is back open and moving this morning. It was shut down overnight when a tractor trailer went off the roadway. THP says the driver crashed into the median. Brandon Cannon is the driver. He was not hurt, but he was arrested. Driving a big rig, he's also been charged with DUI, failure to exercise due care, and possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of pot. All of that found in the big rig. The scene was cleared around 5 hours ago at 2 o'clock this morning. All right, after trying to escape authorities in a high-speed chase, 2 men are now behind bars. Deputies and THP trying to arrest Cordarius Trammell and Carlo Bowman on suspicion of selling drugs. Instead of pulling over, though, they sped off along Highway 55 down in Coffee County. During the chase, the suspects hit a THP vehicle. There was a trooper inside, too. Shots were fired at the suspects, but no one was hit or hurt. Trammell and Bowman were both taken into custody. Charges are pending this morning. An ongoing investigation in Murfreesboro to find out why a police lieutenant was found dead in his home. Lieutenant Charlie Goodlow's death is being investigated by the TBI, but right now it does not appear that foul play was involved. New this morning, 3 women getting help from the Red Cross after a fire in their apartment. It happened at the Hickory Highlands Drive apartment complex. Crews say it began with food on the stove and then it turned into a small fire in the kitchen. Luckily, all 3 women made it out just fine. Interstates and state highways, you know, have taken a big beating from the winter weather. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres is live along Charlotte Pike this morning, and they are fixing potholes, and I'm glad they are because I've hit about 9 million of them, I think, in the last 2 weeks, Matthew.
Steve, you're telling me I feel like I'm getting gray hair just trying to avoid all of the potholes. We've heard it from all the drivers, just sick of the potholes, but slowly but surely, all of them are starting to disappear with the help of TDOT's statewide project to repair all of the potholes throughout Tennessee. Now, they started yesterday, and really today they're trying to hone in on this issue, weather permitting. Of course, I know the fog is going to be tricky for the drivers out there. It seems like they are working very fast because in Davidson County, they have several projects, including here on Charlotte Pike in between White Bridge Road. It seems like they've already paved the potholes. The roads are looking clear. That is the side highway. They are again focusing on the interstates this morning. Now they are pouring in the cold mixture of the asphalt as part of the operation. Weather permitting, again, they're hoping to use the hot mixture of the asphalt since that is more of the permanent fix, but we'll all just see how that will all take place. So expect some lane closures throughout the Davidson County area. If you want to see the full listings of the repairs as to where they are in Tennessee, you can do so by visiting TDOT's website. So make sure to drive with extreme caution, knowing that it is very foggy out there and knowing that there is not a time frame as to when all of this will be completed. We are reporting live in West Nashville this morning. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD.